Hi everybody, it's Tim. Well, we're going to try something here that hopefully it works, and if it does, it'll be fantastic. We're going to be able to input some information, some fundamentals, the fundamentals of network marketing from the absolute masters. Now, the terminology, this particular bit of information was recorded in 1995 by Dexter Yager. So you will hear reference to the Amway Corporation and the various pins. However, the fundamentals aren't specific to a particular company. The fundamentals of building a network marketing business are absolutely across the board. You know, there's no new antiques and there's no new fundamentals. So what I want to do now is I want to play this recording, and hopefully it works out okay, and I'll have some slides going through as well. So on this YouTube clip, you can either just listen to it or you can sit there and watch it. It'll go for about half an hour. Alrighty, so let's have a little listen to Dexter Yager.
Hey gang, this is Dexter. I was just answering a couple of inboxes and a couple of people asked me questions, and I thought I'd just answer an inbox. You know, one of the people asked me, how do you get the drive and the dream? And what happened to Bertie and I, we got into business November 1st, 1964, and we went direct in 6 days at $1,500 the first month, $7,500 the next month, and all of a sudden we were making big money, and we went through a few things, and a couple of our groups quit, some other things happened, and all of a sudden I had been counting out all these people, and I was out throwing the circles, and I had to grow up a little bit. I was very naive. And I started to realize the ones that quit, and I thought it was all my fault, and I thought there was something wrong with me, and I thought I was a poor leader, and all of a sudden, plan wasn't that good anymore because I wasn't that good, because I developed more self-image from the past, and I had thought I was showing people a plan where they could live, and they didn't need me, and all of a sudden I realized, after a couple of years of sitting there and trying to figure it all out, I realized I needed to go back to the way I started off the first 60 days. I needed to stay naive about some of the things happening in life because people are people. And some people are good, some people are bad, some people are going to lie to you, some people are going to cheat you, some people are going to steal. But that's life. That's life. I got to go do what I can do, and I got to go find dreamers that want to do something or people that want to change their life. And I got to believe in them no matter what happens. I got to believe in them no more than anybody else believes in them. I got to see more in them than anybody else sees them. I got to see that this is the greatest plan that exists, regardless of who quits or who does what or who gets upset with me. People don't get upset with everybody every day, but I got to be beyond that. I got to be above that, and I got to love them and love them and love them and keep bringing them back to the dream, bringing them back to the business, keep showing things happen. Once I realized that and realized that I could be me and just a simple kid that graduated from high school and was not top of the class, didn't go to college, and I could build this business. And I had to find some other people that were as hungry as me or somewhere near as hungry. And I had to keep that drive and that dream going. And so when I started doing that, man, things started exploding. I started seeing my volume double and triple, and I started breaking directs. And I kept loving those dreads, and I kept realizing they don't need to be on their own. I wasn't handling being on my own early in the first part. They needed somebody there to give them the confidence that nobody gave me. So I needed to be there, being that one. I need to keep telling them, you can do it bigger, you can do it better. Don't sweat the small stuff. We just keep growing. And you just keep showing them the bigger picture. But anyways, I had to take them out and then look at homes, better homes than what they had, better than what I had. I had to take a look at cars that I didn't have yet and that I wanted and make them want it. And I had to keep looking and wanting more and wanting more and wanting more so that I could get others to want more. Because in the early days, I didn't want enough. I just wanted freedom, a decent house, and a decent car. But I'd grown, and I realized I could now teach people how to get over those mistakes, those humps that I had, and that they were fully as capable, if not more capable than me. If they would just dream, if they would just look, if they would just desire, if they would just want their lives to be changed. But after a while, I realized it wasn't my responsibility to make them successful. It was my responsibility to give them the dream, the knowledge, and the tools on how to build it. And it was their responsibility to go after their dreams. It was their responsibility to make it happen for them. I was going to give them all the opportunity meetings I could, all the goals that I could, all the teaching that I could, every tool that I could possibly give them. And after I gave them the best, I would keep doing it and doing it and doing it. But they had to do something on a regular basis to get the rest. And so those that grow more so they can help others to dream more so the whole world can have a lot more. Poverty is whipped by productive people, teaching other people how to be like them. Now, we're not going to totally duplicate ourselves. We're going to find some people better than ourselves and some people that choose to be less than ourselves. But as long as they want more, we got that opportunity to show more in this business, and that's our responsibility. They should not be looking at us to be perfect, because none of us are. We're just human beings. We're just people that are trying our best. And regardless of what pin we are, regardless of how big our business is, we're just people. We're not perfect. And as long as they'll understand that we're not perfect and they don't expect us to be perfect and they'll overlook our weaknesses, we can overlook their weaknesses and we can love them that much easier and we can believe that much more. And the more we believe in them, the more we tell them how special they are, the more opportunity we afford them. But the final analysis, it's their decision to hang in there and hang in there and hang in there and decide to change their life. The last aspect, it's up to them. And as you're building the group, you've automatically, we want to all break more directs, and we want our directs to break more directs, and directs down under there to break more directs. And one thing you got to realize is all of our lakes have some kind of governor on them, and you can't outrun the governor. You can stretch it, you can speed it up a little bit, but you got to readjust that governor slowly. A lot of people get in this business, and they're going to be a two-day weeker. And they're going to do 2 nights a week, and some of them are going to do 1 night a week. Other people come in, they're going to do 7 nights a week, and they sort of set one part of the governor there, but then some of the frame of people that they're bringing in sets another governor for the business, and there's a whole lot of little things that create governors for that lake. And if you and I get in that one lake that has got a 30-mile-an-hour governor on it, we're trying to run it 100 miles an hour, we just ain't going to do it unless we go build that whole lake for the guy and we bring people in and we do it. Now, we become the governor when we do the whole building. The only thing is you ain't got a leader there. Now, when you do find a leader, you got to try to stretch his brain that, when you take him out dreaming and you get him wanting something real bad, that sort of readjusts the governor. So you got to keep him dreaming a lot. Now, then you got to build a relationship with him and make him hungry for you. That's another governor that you set on there, and that stretches his governor to do what it takes to be with you. At the same point, I got to build the relationship with his wife. So she loves me enough. She wants to be with me too. So that we got to force him now. If I can get his wife and him loving Birdie enough also, then that even stretches the governor more so we become special in their life. But each one of these governors that you readjust, you keep got to go around and readjust them a little bit more. And it's sort of like putting braces on somebody's teeth. You just can't go ahead and put the braces on, adjust them all up today, and just wait 2 weeks, yank them off, and they got straight teeth. The worse the teeth are, the more that you got to take more time, and you got to do more adjustments, and you got to be back and forth to that orthodontist until he gets that thing right. And if you're going to have a quality job, when the quality is done and it's beautiful and the braces are off, nobody cares how long it took. You can only go so fast. But if it takes you 2 or 3 years for those braces, you put them on when you're 12 years old and you live to 82. Those 3 years don't mean a whole lot of difference in the 60-some years, almost 70 years that you got to have beautiful teeth, to have a beautiful smile. And everybody thinks you're so blessed because your teeth look so beautiful and they line up so perfectly. And you went through some pain to get that game. And you take that game so much for granted. After you get those braces off and a year and 2 years later, you don't stop and think about the pain that you put there. And that's the same thing, any one of these groups that you're building and you put the time and effort for it. You don't a lot of times stop and think when you're building another lake, how much love and caring and time and nourishing you got, especially. Let's say that you're here and you got 2 lakes and this third one is going to be your emerald, or this 6th one is going to be your diamond, or this 9th one is going to be your EDC, or so on. That one you want to cram in. But it takes the same nourishing as it did for the other ones. And that's why I keep saying sometimes you got to go 1 or 2 pins ahead of you as you go, and you got to have that many people in the hopper so that you're not trying to cram one in that is changing your style. You know, you're trying to reset a governor, and, you know, we start off, we get a little slow. We're driving 10 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour. You pull out of a apartment complex or a business area, and they get the bumps in the road, and then we get out on the main highway, and we're out there running 15, 20 miles an hour because we're headed for the lot. And then as we pull out, man, we get a little stretch, and we get up to 35, 40 miles an hour, but we're still in the city. Then when you get on the highway, you kick that in a little bit, and you're up to 55, you get into good speed limit, you put it up to 65 or 75, now you're moving. But you're going to have to move that car up and down as you're traveling that highway because you're in and out of congested areas, and that car is geared, you know, for your foot on the pedal as to what area you're in. Now, you can run 100 miles an hour and get yourself killed all over the place because you ain't supposed to be doing that in town, and you're not supposed to be doing that in that shopping center, and you're not supposed to be doing that in all those different areas. But you got to adjust that. Now, you got groups that are your shopping center groups, and you got guys that are your apartment groups, and you got guys that are out there that are your highway groups, and you got guys that are your speedway groups. Now, you don't get a lot of speedway groups, gang. I mean, you just really don't get a lot of speedway groups. You get mostly in-town shopping center and apartment groups. And you're trying to get them up to speedway groups, and sometimes it takes a long time to get them up to speedway groups. Because stop and think, get the guy in the business, it takes the average person goes direct somewhere between 9 months and 2 years. And once in a while, you'll see some diamond go across in 3 to 5 years as a new diamond. He's a speedway group. He is a speedway group, man, but you don't get most of them speedway groups. You look at that stage and you watch when Free Enterprise comes and you see how many groups are on the speedway. Then you look at how many new emeralds there are and how many new pearls they are and how long they've been in. And, you know, those emeralds and pearls, if they've been in the business 4 or 5 years, in a lot of cases, they were your shopping center and your apartment groups. And that's the heart of the business. The only problem with that speedway group is after they broke in at 100 miles an hour, they want to run 250 miles an hour, and that's killer speed. So it's hard to keep up with that group, and and it's hard for them not to wreck because they get so excited they do dumb things. So you got challenges with the apartment group, you got challenges with the shop center, you got challenges with the in-town group. Maybe I should have called them emeralds the in-town group. The main highway going through the city limits group, and some of the ones that are going to be the ones that will be the 10-year emeralds, they're more apt to be the shopping center and apartment groups. But maybe that's because of the groups they got, and they haven't added enough legs so they can get a major highway speedway group. But let's go for all the groups. We want to draw our circle big enough to include them all. And if you want a big business and a big pin, you've got to have enough apartment and shopping center groups, along with some of the ones that's going to be the in-town, getting out on the main street of town business, so that you can find a super highway group. But I think all those groups, whether they're apartment complex groups, whether they're highway complex guys, whether they're whatever, I will take them all because they are all so major. That's what makes up the whole program. If I only got one group, if I only went for the speedway guys, I'd be sitting here today probably as an emerald. If I went for just the apartment guys, heck, I might be a diamond. But since I've gone for every kind, and I've even gone for some of the ones that weren't sure, and it took them 5 years to become apartment guys, you know, that's why we're crown ambassadors. So you got to take them all and mix them in and love them and treat them all like they were speedway guys, but understand them all, whether they're their apartment or whether they're shopping center or whether they're main town and main drive and town guys or whether they're speedway guys. Treat them all with love, but don't let them frustrate you, and don't get frustrated, because if you don't have all speedway guys or all the kinds you want, then it's not your group's responsibility to create the growth. It's your responsibility to go add a leg of the kind of guy that you need to get the job done, because these guys will be next pin, not this pin. You know, building this business on a yearly basis, and for instance, for the next 500 days, is like running a 500-mile Charlotte 500-mile race. You know, you've got to make 500 miles around there, which is many laps. The depth of the racetrack is a mile laps at the racetrack. 500 days going round and round and round and round. You can't afford to slow down. You got to go round and 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 round. And just because you're way ahead of the pack, you can't afford to lose one lap. You've got to keep that pace. It doesn't matter how tired you get or anything else. When you're running the race, you got to run to win. And so if you're a little bit behind, you got to figure out a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and I catch up. A little bit, I'll pass him, and I'll run, and I'll win, and I'll win. You know, no matter how fast you're going, you got to stay ahead of the pack to win. And you don't want to come last. You want to come first. So you got to put it all out there straight. You know what happens in this business? A lot of people run the business. They run hard for 7, 8 days, 10 days, 15 days, and they relax. Then they run, they relax, and they run, they relax, and they run, they relax. You know, that's where you end up out of the race or in the back of the pack. If you really want to set a pace, you take those 500 days, and you run nonstop. You stay on top of it. And then all of a sudden, you got the gold cup, you got the pin, and you got all the money because you've been consistently persistent, and you beat the odds. You beat the odds. So when the spill came on the track, they all spilled all over the place. People were sliding. You had enough edge to stay ahead of it. Remember that. Most people, if they build this business, they take more time off than they should, and they don't get as far as they could. This afternoon I stopped by to see a good friend of mine that has a very successful pawn shop. In fact, one of the most successful pawn shops probably in the country. And while talking to him, you know, he told me that one of the things he hates most about it is that word pawn. He wished there was a way that we could change that word pawn, because pawn shops have such a bad name. And he's been president of the Charlotte Association of Pawn Shops and national. He's chairman of the board. He's got all kinds of credibility amongst people there. But people have a problem with that term pawn shop. I asked him, I said, what business is credible? I said, you know, I have met people in every kind of profession in the world, people that are small thinkers and broke thinkers. They always have a problem with Amway, same as people have a problem with pawn shop. And I have never found a profession that all people in America respect. Because if you're highly successful, small thinkers normally think you're a crook, or you're lucky, or they know somebody in your profession that they think has heard it and that's brought it down for everybody. But there is no honorable profession. Everybody in every profession is trying to figure out how to clean up the self-image. The truth of the matter is, highly successful people respect other highly successful people, regardless of their profession, as long as it is an honest profession. And small thinking people don't know how to judge things, so they put every profession down. So when they look at Amway or pawn shops or dentists, they think of a dentist, they think, oh, it's going to hurt me. They go to the doctor and think, oh boy, I don't want a needle. They go to the bank and they think, this guy's going to rip me off. They go to the car dealership and they think that guy's a crook. They go to one profession after the other, and most people look down on them for some way, manner, or form, while they have another group that admire them because of their success. So one successful man can respect another successful man because he understands what it takes. So those that don't know what it takes to succeed have a problem understanding what it works like. They have job mentality, broke mentality, not business mentality, and success mentality. So never let anybody intimidate you because you're in Amway. Anytime they think that way, it just shows lack of knowledge of the profession. It's ignorance of a profession that makes people not have respect for the profession. Everybody in every profession has challenges, and every profession has bad eggs. But professions don't stay around because of bad eggs. They stay around because of professionals making it a good profession. So remember, you're in the best with the least investment and the most potential, and you can help more people through this business than any other business. So don't let the small thinking people downgrade your self-respect for the business that is the greatest opportunity that you can give. I was just stop to think about the importance of discipline. You know, if you're really going to build this business big, that is one of the major secrets that you got to learn. Nobody can discipline you to do what you must learn to discipline yourself to do. I remember back in the early days when we were broke and things weren't happening, and I was making excuses to myself, and I was trying, and I was doing all the different things you could do. And then finally one day I said to myself, I'm going to discipline myself to show this plan to somebody every night. And I will not go to bed at night until I've shown this plan to somebody. So if I have to go find a guy at the train station, the bus station, or whatever, I'm going to be out showing the plan, and I'm going to find somebody, and I'm going to show the plan, or I'm going to go to bed. Or I'm not going to go to bed that night. And as I started doing that, I fumbled around, and I made sure that I did it. Then I finally got to the point I got booked my schedule. I started working with a schedule book, and I learned to book a meeting out of every meeting. Before that meeting was over, I had another meeting booked. And then I started learning to book myself a couple weeks in advance, let them know that my time was valuable. And then I learned to explain my time, the value of my time to other people, and let them know how valuable that time was, and that I was not going to waste my life, but I was going to become very highly successful and very wealthy and independent. And that had to be a discipline on my time. And as I learned to never, ever, ever leave a meeting without giving another meeting date, booking another meeting before I go. And sometimes in those early days when I was starting with people with little or no volume, and before I leave their house, if they had 20 people invited and 3 couples there, I would book a meeting at least with 2 out of 3 of the people plus another meeting for the guy. And I stayed on top of that, and I built myself a pattern eventually where I was booked 30 days a month. Every night I was showing a plan. And once I developed that pattern and explained to people the value of their time and my time, and life goes on, whether we do this or not, where are we going to be in the next 5 years? We can be independent if in the next 5 years we booked our time wisely. We can all be diamonds, and if we don't book our time wisely and spend it wisely, we're going to be where we are now. And some listen and some didn't. You know, some will, some won't, so what? But as we keep going and going and going, all of a sudden we look back, and that discipline soon brought me my emerald, my diamond, my double diamond. And then I disciplined myself for 5 years after I got my double diamond to do nothing but counsel and dream build and build depth. Counsel, dream, build, and build depth. I did that for 5 years, and then I went on to put the people together that were already in my group and put together my triple diamondship. And then I did that again, building depth and counseling, building depth, and then I put together my crown, and then I did the same thing again and put together my crown ambassadorship. So it's a matter of setting your goals, getting your system together, eat, living, and sleeping, that schedule book, and discipline yourself, and you create your success. So you got to stay in there. You got to keep them dreaming. Boy, I'll tell you, without dreams, there's no vision. We've got to spend our time helping people see the vision of the board, take them dreaming to see the vision of what kind of things they can get, what that board represents, take them getting a bigger vision of what they have so that they get so hungry for things that they're not satisfied with what they have anymore, because that satisfaction keeps them broke. So we got to keep them hungry. So we got to keep looking at houses, boats, planes, cars, vans, coaches, expanding and stimulating and fertilizing that powerful brain that God gave every one of them till they believe they deserve more, and they go after it and they get it. What's amazing is we share this plan with person after person after person, and you deal with rejection after rejection after rejection, and you find a few that are smart enough to make the selection, and then a few more that are smart enough to make a collection of people and go build the business. And when we do that, you know, it's amazing how many people have all this faith and security because they got a good job. And, you know, just going through my inbox so far tonight, I've had 3 messages from people that in major corporations. I was familiar with the name of each one of the corporations, which I won't repeat, but where in each case, one case, the CEO of that major concern, his boss came in and let him, the stockholders know from him he was gone. He was gone. That's it. And another one where one major company took over another big company, and they just let everybody know in that company at a certain time. They set it up and brought everybody in, and all of a sudden, at a certain point across timeline of America, everybody from the company they bought out was let go. And I mean, that's going to be a thing that happens to a lot of people. You know, if I buy a company that, and I'm a big entrepreneur, and let's say that I have a Band-Aid company, and that wasn't one of them, but mine happens to be a Band-Aid company, and mine happens to be a big one, and I bought out the second biggest Band-Aid company. I don't need two sales forces. So I either have to let some of my people go, let some of their people go, or if I'm really loyal to my people, I'm probably going to let all of their people go and have my people pick up the slack. And that makes me more profitable. That gives me a bigger line. And I mean, that happens. It happens. It's a business move. And see, people don't understand. They think, well, that's big corporation. And that's not fair to the people. The whole thing boils down to is profit. And people think profit's a dirty word, but if there is no profit, then the company goes out of business, and then there are no jobs. So the company always has to watch that profit line. And, you know, if you got, say, 20,000 employees and you let 1,000 go, you pretty much protected 20,000 jobs by letting 1,000 go. But people don't understand it that way. See, they don't have that full understanding. It's sort of like yourself, you know, you're responsible for your kids. And when you don't have enough income coming out to match the outgo, then you have to cut something. So you cut the guy that's mowing the lawn, you stop going out to eat, you quit getting your car washed, and you quit making as many phone calls, and you cut other people's incomes because you don't have enough income for the outgo, you know, and otherwise you file bankruptcy. But, you know, it's the simple little details that some do that others don't do that makes a difference as to whether some people break directs and then end up diamond and EDC and above, or other people end up 1,500 for 5 years. Number one is doing them. 2, finding out that they work. And number 3, keep doing it. And number 4, teach doing them. Don't assume, okay? Anytime we assume, you break that word down, and it makes a fool out of you and me. Just break assume down and find out it's 3 different words, okay? Assumption does not make leaders. Leaders are doers. Leaders do what others don't do. When people talk to you about this business and how many make it and how many don't, the ones that do the things right and they keep getting better and better, keep doing better and better, and they keep doing better and better until they make it, and then they make it bigger and bigger and bigger because they create the right habit. They're doing the right thing instead of doing the wrong thing. I was talking to a couple the other day, and they were out drawing the circles 5 and 6 nights a week, just like you should be. And I talked to them about the importance of the dream. And I think it's very, very important that you have your dream. And some of your dreams is to go at it and be close with somebody else, somebody upline, be an emerald, to be a diamond, to be EDC, so that you're in the leadership role or you're accepted by the leadership or you fit in and you can hang around with the leadership. But you know, not everybody's goal is that. And I found out when I built the business, Bertie and I went through a lot more things than we even care to remember or talk about. But in a lot of those things, I learned at a certain point, you know, the first few years of our business, we went fast. And then we went through a bunch of negative and had a lot of people quit. And we had a lot of reversals in our business. And I had to learn to overcome them. And I had to learn to grow up. And in that growing up through the 3 years, I went through what's wrong with me. I mean, what could I have done wrong? Am I not worthy of this? A pity party, feeling sorry for myself. Like this hasn't happened to anybody else. Nobody understands. But, you know, it's me that's going through this. And we went through all the different things of sorting and finding and finally growing up. And then when we grew up and we got the right books and started listening to records and stuff, then we realized the importance of having to go out and increase our dream on a regular basis. And also developed a habit of having to go out and touch that dream on a regular basis. Then I realized I not only needed a dream, but along with showing a plan 6 and 7 nights a week, I needed to take my people out and have them dream regularly. And if I needed to go on a regular basis, I needed to take them on a regular basis because retention isn't very long for most people. They don't retain very well. They don't retain what you're saying. They don't retain what they need. And you have to go over it over and over and over and over and over and over again. So you got to constantly teach your people to work steps, to go dreaming, to draw the circles. And any time that I don't have an emerald in the lake or a diamond, I look at it that as a personal lake. So if I was out drawing the circles 10 under them, it was 30 under them. One of the things I always tried to do real hard was to take every line of sponsorship that I got and to see the guys that I was working with name go off that list of line of sponsorship on the application. That was very, very important to see that happen. Then make sure that I took all those people dreaming. I knew I had to expand the dream of people from cars, boats, houses, the airplanes, and keep making that circuit.
This is the end of side 1. Please turn the tape over for the continuation of this program.
Well, guys, that is our first attempt at getting this program out there on a regular basis. So there we go. That's about a half an hour's worth, and I'll sign off and I'll see you again next week. Bye.